Hello everybody, my name is Hawk Nightwing, the most unapologetic Defender G5 you'll ever meet, and holy cow. I'm stunned, I'm flabbergasted, I'm shocked, I'm emotional, I don't know what I am, but this special absolutely rocks. Apologies in advance to all my previous favorites, but this is not my favorite episode of Tired Tail, period. I am absolutely blown away by how good it is. Yeah, no suspense here, this special is everything. If this is any indication of what's to come, then Tired Tail knows how to do G5 specials exceptionally well, even more so than Make Your Mark. Everything from the story, character writing to the payoff. Oh boy, the payoff! How do you take such a simple premise for an episode of Tired Tail, let alone a G5 special of all things, and make it this good in execution? Alright, enough beating around the bush here. It's time to get into why the Blockywockys is not only the best Tired Tail episode ever, but it's actually probably the best G5 special ever. Roll it! Though it's no surprise at this point in G5's run, we know what to expect with their specials. Pretty light on story, more so an excuse to pack in as much songs as possible for albums. There was some story throughout the 4 Making Mark specials, particularly in the first one in Secrets of Starlight, but for the most part, you don't really expect phenomenal stuff with these. That honor will be reserved for the regular episodes, and I was kinda expecting the same to be the case with the Blockywockys. I mean, can you blame me? The specials we've had so far aren't really what I consider to be top tier pony content. So imagine my surprise when this episode rolls around and not only redeems Tired Tail Izzy Moonbow for me, but it's actually genuinely good. Like, I mean no disrespect to the Make Your Mark specials. They were good as well, especially Secrets of Starlight, which is actually my favorite special out of the whole series. But while they are good, they're not great. You don't see me gush about them nearly as much. That's where this special comes into play, and oh boy, it's more than just good. It's on a whole other level of good. It's outstandingly brilliant, and probably what I consider to be Tired Tail's magnum opus. There's only 2 songs throughout the whole thing, and it's a deeply personal story with phenomenal payoff. Like, I can't believe it! The premise sounds simple, right? Oh, it's a repeat of Izzy Does It, where Izzy has creative block and has to rediscover her passion. We've seen this before, and LMP is no stranger to repeat episodes and ideas. But, you know what? This is actually one of the few cases where the repeat is better than the original. I never thought I would see the day where Tired Tail actually beats Make Your Mark at something, but here we are. The basic concept is the exact same, but the execution couldn't be more different. It offers a more realistic depiction of creative burnout. We actually get to see how the other characters that Izzy meets on her journey, such as Destiny, Blaze, and that one pony in Starlight Ridge who everyone's saying is a win for representation, but for the life of me I have no idea which culture she's representing, so please help. These all contribute to the great payoff at the end. Instead of simply being told Izzy's going to some place and we only get to see the outcome of that, we actually follow her on the journey every step of the way this time. The world building serves to move the plot along. Not only that, but it's a relevant special that ties itself to the grander Allura narrative, by having her be present here. That is a smart choice, and automatically avoids the pitfalls that both Bridalwood Stock and Winter Wish Day fell into. Now that we've talked about the premise, let's get into the actual story more in depth, and I'll elaborate on my points as we go. So the episode starts off with an opening musical number, Can You Feel the Magic, and right out of the gate, the longer runtime allows the story to flow much smoother. The song goes on for much longer than it otherwise would have in a regular episode. The choreography, the shots, the transitions, the energetic atmosphere, plus the way we're introduced to every pony one by one, even the background ponies. Heck, why couldn't this be the first episode? Nothing against Icy Prince, it's still great, but I'm just saying. If we had this phenomenal special as our opening, it would have been a killer way to start the season. Everything feels kinetic when the ponies come together to dance near the end of the number, even Posey, which I wasn't expecting. Well, it's official. The Posey Abuse era is over, guys. We won. And I couldn't be happier. After the song, we're introduced to Laura right out of the gate, and already, this special gets major brownie points for being a relevant episode. Climate change is coming upon our favorite feline's frozen wasteland, meaning she and Twitch have to find a new home. This later turns out to be the cave from Portrait of a Princess. I really do appreciate the attention to continuity like that. Back in Maritime Bay, Izzy and Senior Butterscotch have a little conversation about her creative burnout, and I like this way the silly little guy actually has a little role and acts like a confidant. It's silly, but it serves a dramatic purpose at the same time, as Izzy slowly realizes that she is the dreaded Blockywockys. She relates this to her friends, and I like the way it's described in a very realistic manner, with the perfect frames chosen to display each thing she's talking about. On top of that, the choice of wording actually helped the scene to be a bit more heartfelt. I probably didn't get the same emotions as others did while watching, but I still love how the conflict is conveyed, where it feels like Izzy's genuinely concerned about never getting her spark back ever again, That emotional core about rediscovering her drives put at the center of her story. Also, pay close attention to the music when she's talking about her creative block. I still can't believe they went this extra mile, but they did. If you pay close attention, there's a brief instrumental of the upcoming song Let Your Magic Run Wild, which Izzy begins to sing in the climax. I'll play these 2 short moments and see if you can spot what I'm saying.
When I create something, I see this glowy line first, and it shows me the idea. Sometimes the Blockywockys keep you from finishing a project. Sometimes they keep you from starting.
It's a clever piece of music foreshadowing and I think it helps add an extra layer of dramatic depth, knowing that the song's exactly what's going to be playing near the end. It's there at the start of the conflict, and it's there at the end. Whoever came up with that was genius. Chef's kiss. So, it's decided she must go on a quest to retrieve a Phoenix gem. Whoops. Wrong piece for arbitrary adventure media. Rediscover her creative passion. Again, the decision to go someplace else to find her spark is exactly like Izzy does it, but we actually have to see it this time, witness how her experiences change her along the way. It's a bold decision to center your first special for this show around such a simple and basic premise, yet it works, due to how invested you are in Izzy's desire to get her mojo back. This will become important later. The opening manages to establish the status quo and Izzy's dilemma in a very tight and concise manner, and now you want to see exactly how she'll rediscover herself on her quest. She packs and is off to the road, with some good old-fashioned friendship vibes from her friends to help her along the way. Her first quest takes her to Starlight Ridge, where Comet is still nowhere to be found. She meets Stardance, who invites her to a special dance underneath the stars. She of course accepts, and this is meant to teach the lesson of when you're feeling burnt out, stop and take a break to do something fun in order to relax your mind. Through this experience, Izzy is able to let go and just enjoy life without having to constantly be on her grind. This and the next locations may just seem like silly pit stops on her journey, but they're actually important to curing Izzy's creative block. As even when you have a ton of ideas, it can get exhausting if you don't take the time to just have fun while doing it. Let me tell y'all, this is a lesson that I have to learn constantly as a content creator. I love making videos on G5 for y'all, but it can get overwhelming sometimes if I don't force myself to just stop and smell the roses. Izzy's dance with Stardance may just seem like simple fun on the surface, but what it accomplishes is teaching Izzy a valuable lesson, just relaxing, let your mind recuperate. Next she goes to the Dragonlands, and first off, thank you Hasbro for bringing Blazing the Dragons back. We haven't seen them in this show since Labyrinth, which really should have been a Season 2 episode, let's be real. This stop is all about the message of trusting yourself, and putting your trust in others, and once you come up with an idea, you take a leap of faith in doing it. Not always knowing how the outcome of your project is going to go, but still trusting yourself to get the job done. It's shown in a literal sense here, but the purpose in Izzy's trust dive is genius thematically. Lastly, we get to the Jade Sea, and Izzy meets a sea pony named Destiny, who shares her bubbly personality. Destiny is just everything. Not only because she's sweet, exuberant, wholesome, adorable, and I hope we see her again, but because she's voiced by Opaline. I just found that out after watching Ashley's Pony Stables review, and now I can't unsee it.
And I'll rule over you little powerless ponies for all eternity!
But in all seriousness though, I really want to see more of this undersea world and more sea ponies. The lesson that Destiny teaches Izzy is that it's good to have laugh with friends, and not be so cooped up with doing work all the time. It's a bit like the first moral, but with more of an emphasis on companionship and doing what you love with friends, as well as how laughter can cure any bad mood or dry spell. These short little side quests, all thematically appropriate, also serve as the ultimate tour de force of G5's world building so far. I seem to recall many a while back complaining that the world this generation was just too small and empty, and, well, look where we are now. We got Starlight Ridge, the Dragonlands, heck, we even got the Jade Sea. I do wish we went to the Breezy Night Market again though, as that was a nice locale. Heck, the all-knowing Breezy already helped our ponies once, why couldn't she do it again? Oh well. The locations we did get were awesome and really help establish how expansive and alive this world feels now. Again, please give us more Destiny, Hasbro. I am begging you. She's just too pure and innocent for this world to be left on such a sad cliffhanger like that. Let her see Izzy again. Izzy arrives back home on the beach, having finally completed her quest, and this is where you think the story ends, right? No, actually. See, it's one thing to go on all these mini adventures and learn stuff, but we haven't really gotten to the point where she shows everything she's learned over the course of the journey yet. So far, the specials follow the typical hero's journey formula, and now we're at the point where everything comes to a head. She's spotted by Elora, who wants to get the Nova Charm off of her, and they intend to get it by whatever means necessary, so that they could leave Maritime Bay. I mean, you guys could just fly, but, maybe they're worried about being spotted, who knows. Izzy enters an abandoned carnival fair, and this is where, oh man, where do I even begin? The best scene of the episode comes in. I've watched this exact scene about 12 times already, in between breaks of making this video. Izzy sees all the broken down equipment, and begins singing. Just like she described in the beginning, those special imaginary lines begin to appear again, and she pictures everything that could be, all the rides that she could make. She sees a holographic Misty and realizes that her creative block is gone. She's done it! She has her spark back! As the main chorus of the song begins to kick in, she jumps around, excited at the prospect of letting her magic run wild, Just the way her pure excitement is conveyed in the voice acting. Add to that, the music kicking in is just perfect. It even elicited an emotional reaction from me. How does G5 keep making me cry? This should be illegal. Nova Charm gives her a rainbow form and she begins to unleash her full creativity, restoring the fairgrounds piece by piece. This is what I like to call one of G5's many magical moments, where the emotional power of the story is turned up to 1000%, and everything just clicks together. The music, the visuals, the singing, the acting, everything. The last time I had this level of emotional catharsis was back in The Roots of All Evil, with the magic in that song. Here, Izzy's letting her creativity run fully wild, her inspiration back in full force, completely knowing who she is and owning it. Everything comes together, and once her friends show up, the Nova Charm splits into 6 pieces, stranding Elora and Twitch in Yoil Land forever. This scene is what cemented this episode as my favorite Tail episode of all time now. It managed to completely redeem this version of Izzy Moonbow for me. In my Cake Dragon review, I said that I wanted Izzy to be given an episode where she's allowed to have the sincerity and emotional depth of her new generation and make your mark portrayals. And they did it here. Oh boy, did they do it! Izzy has been one of my top favorite characters in LP period, ever since this generation began, and this episode managed to do what previous Tail episodes couldn't. Get my girl 100% right. I didn't think they would do it, but they did it. And for that, I say it's a massive win. The ending of the episode is fairly standard stuff, for the most part. Izzy shows each one of her friends their own customized booth made especially for them. Good Luna, Misty's place with the popcorn is so wholesome. And Izzy realizes that the Blockywockys didn't exist after all. What a suspenseful twist! This works due to all the hints shown throughout the episode, where no Pony, not even her friends, not even Destiny, who shares her zany personality, knew what she was talking about. It was all in her head due to feeling creative burnout, and she just needed to rediscover herself on her quest. That's actually a very realistic message. I like that they didn't make the Blockywocky some sort of physical creature for the characters to defeat, or some actual debilitating disease that turns you into a tree. Not that that's a bad thing, but, you know, this is actually much more grounded, and it's a good message for kids to learn, that their deepest fears were all in their minds, and that all you gotta do is take a leap of faith, and take some time off to rediscover what makes you, well, you. The ponies named the fair the board trot, have some fun, and the episode ends. So, what do I think of this special? Well, y'all made it this far, you probably know exactly what I think. It's an absolute win on every single level. I cannot believe Tail managed to make a G5 special that I have nothing but praise for. I was expecting that much from a special, probably more of the same, but instead I got something that feels like a genuine make your mark episode, with all the heart and emotional storytelling that comes with it, adapted into Tail animation style. When I watched this, I didn't get more of the same. I got something awesome, with a deeply personal story for Izzy, a road trip plot with a bit of new world building thrown in there as well. This should have been the first episode of Season 2, I feel robbed. Imagine if we had this as our opener. I love Tail's version of Izzy now, and they managed to completely fix her by leaning into the sincerity that makes her unique. This second season just can't stop delivering home run after home run, and it's everything the first season wasn't, with an actual structure, a serialized narrative, consistently great episodes with only one exception, lore, world building, all of that. If this is a sign of things to come, then I cannot wait for the next special in August, because this episode proved that G5 can finally do its specials justice. But what do you all think? Was this episode a major home run for you like it was for me? Or do you think it left a lot to be desired? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you are new here and you want to see more, then feel free to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel in order to be updated on future content. We analysts appear to be a dying breed in the community, as mindless hate videos are all the rage, so your contributions make a huge difference helping me grow. Until next time, this is Hawk Nightwing signing out. Hoof to heart.